Okay, so as you already know, the LangChain expression language has become the backbone of the newest versions of LangChain. Traditional chains, what we call legacy chains, are still supported but treated as legacy and have less functionality than the new LangChain expression language chains. This is important because the new functionality that is developed by the LangChain team is being developed for the new LangChain expression languages chains. Okay, so some of the new functionality is not working with legacy chains. We know that many students struggle with LangChain expression language, and that's why we have prepared all these lessons. So remember that in our bootcamp, we have several lessons talking about LangChain expression language from a very early stage. So if you remember, we have been talking about the way you build chains, output parsers, arguments, OpenAI functions, and RAG applications. But remember that all these were like these kind of lessons we prepare and tell you, well, we don't know if this is going to be solid or not. Right now it's just experimental, but it seems that the LangChain team is going in this direction, etc. So right now the situation is totally different. Right now, this second generation LangChain is the backbone of the framework. So it is very important for us to understand very well why the LangChain team has decided this and what are the main differences between what you already know and what the LangChain team is proposing now. So first, let's review the main goals of the LangChain team when they decided to prepare this new version of the framework. The first one, make it easy to build complex chains. And the second one, support functionality such as streaming, parallelism, and logging. We are going to see all these things. But I would say that, well, let's see how this works in practice, right? So in this notebook, as always, we have prepared, when you execute this notebook, you will see our traditional setup. So we create a new virtual environment, we install in that new virtual environment Jupyter Lab in order to open the notebook, and then we do the usual, create the .env file. This is not very well formatted, but you can see what are the contents of the .env file here. And then we start with the usual first cell. We are here importing the contents of the .env file. We install LangChain and we install LangChain OpenAI, this package, in order to use the LLM models of OpenAI. As you know, we always add this note, since right now OpenAI is the best LLM in the market, we are going to use it by default. But you will see how to connect with other open source LLMs like Llama 3 or Mistral in a next lesson. I don't know if, I don't remember if this lesson is before or after this one, the current one we are recording, but for sure you have there a way to connect your applications with different LLM models than OpenAI. But our recommendation, because right now is the top quality model, our recommendation right now is still OpenAI. So in this exercise, we are using Chat OpenAI model GPT 3.5 Turbo, and the main purpose of this introductory lesson is to take a look at the difference between a legacy chain and a new LangChain expression language chain. So the legacy chain is easily recognizable by this nasty deprecation warning that LangChain shows us every time we use legacy LangChain, right? So if you remember, we use a class called LLM chain to create the most basic chain. So what we are doing here is we are creating a chain with an LLM model and a prompt, and we are calling the LLM with .predict, if you remember, right? So we are asking right now about the soccer player Maradona. In the prompt, tell me a curious fact about Maradona, right? So the LLM is telling us Maradona once scored a goal, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So you remember the legacy chains. The new LangChain expression language chains have this other format that is also familiar to you. Okay, so we have here different things. This operator is called pipe. This is the main element of the LangChain expression language chains. Each of these elements is a runnable, and the result of all these operations is also a runnable. So the next thing we are going to understand very well is, okay, what is a runnable and what different kinds of runnables do we have? So the second important thing when you look at one of these new chains is to understand that the order of the elements is important. And you are going to understand this very, very easily in the next lesson with a powerful graphic. Okay? So a LangChain expression language chain is a sequence of runnables, okay? And as you remember, instead of using .predict, as we were using in the legacy chains, now we are using .invoke. And this is very interesting because this .invoke can be used with every runnable. So now we are using it with the chain, but in fact, we could use it with each of the runnables we are including in the chain. Okay? So in this case, we are asking about Ronaldo, and the model is telling us a response about Ronaldo. Okay, so all the components of the chain are runnables, and when we write chain.invoke, we are using invoke with all the components of the chain in an orderly manner. We are going to talk a little bit more about this in the next lesson. Okay, so this is just an opening, just an introduction to understand that this second generation LangChain has one very important element, which is called runnables. And we are going to learn more about runnables and runnables execution order in the next lesson. Very important, the next lesson.